If you're a tattoo artist and you're listening to the show, we've got a product that we think you should go and check out. Our buddy Gabe over at Tattoo Now has been setting up this extensive package for anyone who is in the business, and it's amazing. We're not getting paid for this spot. We're doing this because we actually really just believe in the software and the service that Gabe offers. The Tattoo Now Business Suite comes in 3 different packages ranging anywhere from $99 a month up to $400 a month, and it's amazing. You'll get not only a professional CRM and client database where you'll never lose contacts again, right? It keeps everything in one space. It's easy to fill cancellations because everything is just right in front of your face. There's marketing that's attached to it. You also have integrations with like Google My Business and with your Facebook, Instagram, any of your other social medias, and you can do it all from one place. So if you're like Brian and you have all of these different social media accounts, it's all in one space. You can post to them just from one spot, so you don't have to have 50 different apps, trying to keep track of everything. It's amazing. And that's just for the base package. I mean, if you start getting higher end on this stuff, like up to the premium one, I mean, you get one-on-one time with Gabe. And I mean, if you don't know of his past, I mean, first go back and listen to the show, but also just know that this dude knows what he's doing. It's more than 20 years just doing the tech side of stuff, but also he owned one of the most successful shops on the planet. And it's just amazing to have that wealth of knowledge at your fingertips. So why don't you head over to the Tattoo Now website and fill out a request to have a talk with him. We'll have a link down in the show description, but if you're not somebody who likes to read that stuff, you can go to longevity.tattoonow.com/2dudes. One word, 2dudes is the affiliate link. You can go over there and hit Gabe up. I mean, trust me, if you hit this up and you take advantage of this, it's going to help your business, streamline your stuff, and give you more free time. Anyways, on to the show. Hello, welcome to the Two Dudes Talk Tattoos podcast, a podcast about tattooing so great it'll tear the pants right off your hind end. My name is Ryan Othis. I'm one of your hosts for the show. You can find me in Portland, Oregon at the Better Tattooing Tattoo Shop, online at bettertattooing.com, and our YouTube channel named Better Tattooing. My co-host is Brian Matthew. You can find him at the Tailored Fit Tattoo Gallery in Rogers, Arkansas, or checking out Brian Matthew Illustrations or Tattoos on Instagram and Facebook. Brian's not with us today, sadly. I don't know what he was up to, but something kept him away. So it's just me talking with Steve Peace. Now, if you don't know Steve Peace, he is an icon in Canada. He runs 2 conventions in Alberta that are just massive. They're crazy. It's a lot of fun hearing him talk about the difficulties of running such a thing, and just seeing somebody who's been in the industry for 30 years ish, how he still has the passion to talk about this art form, whatever, practice, trade, in such a way that you can tell he still really loves what he does. So it's fun, and I think one of the best things about this is that Steve's just lighthearted. For somebody who has such recognition and such a name and does such really cool tattoos, just for him to sit down on this lowly show and shoot the shit for a while is amazing. So I'm not going to talk too much on the front end. I'll catch you on the back. This is my talk with Steve Peace of Immaculate Concept Tattoo and the Calgary Tattoo Convention and the Edmonton Convention. And wait till you hear the jokes at the end. If you like what we do, please give us a follow, subscribe, like, any of those things, even a rating or review on the podcast platform of your choice that you choose to listen to us on. And also be sure to tell your friends. We really, really, really enjoy all the support we've had so far. And we'd like to keep it going. So thank you so much. We hope you enjoy the show. Looking for good radio here. I'm eating peanuts while we start recording the initial bit here.
I'm
Right on.
diabetic now, so I fucking have to snack responsibly. It's fucking horrible.
You're diabetic now.
Oh, this is what keeps you going.
Oh, yeah. I drink my coffee out of a baby cup.
Yeah, I can't handle coffee. I don't know. Never liked it.
I was a kind of a coffee person. Then I lived in Canada on and off for about 13 years.
Oh,
And
no way.
yeah, and then fucking Timmy's hit me, and I got addicted to it up until they like changed their roast.
Well, McDonald's bought Timmy's roast.
Yeah, and then the McDonald's coffee's fucking it slays up there, but they don't have Timbits. They just got their shitty food. So you got to make
Yeah.
2 stops, you know?
Well, you got to find that double where McDonald's right next to Tim Hortons.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for coming on today. This is
Yeah,
great.
no problem.
We'll just fucking jump fucking right in here. I've got, and I'll have like random cut spots here. I've got like, let's just like have a chat. And at the end, just for you, and because of my extensive experience up in Canada,
Where did you live?
I lived in Edmonton,
Ooh,
Toronto.
sorry about that.
Yeah, that's not a good experience to talk about.
Sorry, I shouldn't say that on. I've got a show there next month. So. Love Edmonton.
Yeah, Edmonton is
Yeah.
the tits. We love that place. I lived there. I lived in Toronto and like all over Ontario, and then I lived out in New Brunswick, Fredericton.
Oh, crazy.
Just for a short period of time. Yeah, all over the place. Mostly Ontario. Spent about 7 years on and off in Toronto, and it just fucking I love that city. It's great.
Toronto's good. It's just too fucking big.
It is too big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to swear on this?
Oh yeah, you can say whatever the fuck you
I
want
got
to.
fucking trucker mouth. It's terrible.
Oh, it's fun. Yeah.
But when you go on TV shows, you're like, well, what
This is the old Spark. We just fucking shoot the shit. The shows we got a little bit of structure. So what I've got today is I've written some chirps for us to maybe read together at the end of the show. I'll just like kind of text them off to you and read them however you want to. But I came up with not only some decent hockey chirps for us to either tell each other if we're comfortable with that, but also some interesting facts about Alberta and Canada. Yeah.
What's the hockey chirp? I don't watch hockey.
Fucking talking shit to each other, right?
Yeah. You can talk shit about any team you want. I don't have to. That's 3 hours. Who the fuck has 3 hours? I do, but I choose to do it other ways. You know, Oak Island in a couple of hours a fortnight, and I'm good. But
yeah, fuck yeah. So
I had a day off yesterday. It was fucking interesting.
Did you sleep in?
I slept in, went to a movie, came home, played Fortnite, watched Oak Island, and went to bed.
Holy shit!
It went by like that.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
Wake up today, kind of dazed, didn't know what fucking time.
A
it
little
was.
bit, yeah.
That's cool. Because I know, like, read some of your bio stuff. I tried to do a little bit of homework on the people before I talk. Like, I know about you by reputation. I met you about a decade ago when I did the Calgary and Edmonton conventions when I was living up there, and you're just like a fucking super cool dude, you know.
Cool. Now I'm just old and grumpy.
Isn't that the natural evolution, anyways?
What shops did you work at?
Cat Point. I work for Bear.
Oh, fuck. You've been through the ringer then.
Yeah. Yeah, I was up there for almost 3 years, and we did not part ways amicably.
That never happens, but
nah,
he is who he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's like my old boss. Yeah, fuck, I haven't talked to her since I left.
Yeah.
Like 25. It's just that's old school ways.
Old school
right?
way. Yeah. It's water under the bridge.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah. And he was all right, you know, like a lot of respect to him. When I was up there, I learned a lot just from the volume of work that we were doing at the time. You know, I don't know if he's still as busy as he was, but I mean,
it's different now. It's
jammed.
Like I'm so glad I have the show. I'm trying to figure out where to move forward. You know what I mean? Like it's like having a shop will be unreasonable in a year or two, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just there's not enough business out there anymore. There's so many fucking tattoo artists.
Yeah.
Having a tattoo show, you know, I am making my money on the flip side, but
yeah, that's why we were moving to this. Like in Oregon State, which I think is like 1/3 the size, maybe a quarter the size of Alberta, we have 4,400 tattoo artists.
That's insane. I think that might be worse than up here.
Yeah, there's like 14 or 1,500 tattoo shops in the state, but the main population is really located along this I-5 corridor.
That's how many people live in Oregon?
A couple million.
That's it? Because I usually go by population, like for tattoo shows. If you're organizing something, look how many people live in the city. That sort of thing.
Let's get the Portland demographics.
Yeah, I was just about to.
Yeah. For anyone
Oregon.
on the show's just tuning in, we've got Steve Peace on the show today. Steve, why don't you tell us about yourself while we look up the population here? Holy fuck, 652,000 in Portland.
4.5 million. 4.5 million in Oregon, though.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot of people. That's about the same as Florida.
One tattooer for every 10,000 people.
Yeah, that's how.
That's
I remember when we first opened our shop, we were the 8th shop in town.
Yeah.
There were 8 shops. So we have 4 quadrants in the city. So there were 2 in each quadrant.
Yeah.
God, I stopped counting years ago. Like there's hundreds and hundreds now.
Yeah. You guys had so much stuff pop up there. It became the hub. Like Vancouver and Calgary kind of became like the hub.
It did. I'm not sure if the tattoo show had something to do with that. You know what I mean? Like, coming into the city, like, oh, Calgary's, maybe it's my fault.
We'll say that. Yeah, the show, I think, coupled with all the money, like the expansion and when money started to flow in, when money's there, people buy tattoos and they move to the area and the population increases and it gets.
And Calgary went like they were predicting it, we'd get over 1 million people by around now, and we hit it 20 years ago, and now it's already 1.3 or something like that. So
it's wild.
It's growing huge.
You get that constant dips every time that oil drops below 85 a barrel. Then fucking people leave. It comes back and it goes back up.
It's coming back now, right? Yeah.
I'm
paying attention.
So Steve, where are you from? Tell us a little bit about you before we fucking start bullshitting here.
From England originally. I was born there. Moved over here when I was 9, with my parents, obviously, and I've been here ever since in Calgary. Yeah, opened our shop 26 years ago.
26 years. Holy shit! Right at the turn.
Right before. I think it was a good time. Do you know what I mean? Like a good time to open right before the huge boom and stuff.
Yeah.
We're doing a thing at our tattoo show this year on Paul Jeffries, who opened in 1978. I think he had the perfect career, 78 till now. Like got to
That's wild.
Do the flash days when there was no one in town. Like he was the one really. And got to see it all, right? Got to see the changes, got to see the evolution.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Yeah, and if anyone doesn't know who Paul Jeffries is, he's a fucking legend.
That's it, right? Like, I mean, he was a legend 25 years ago without Instagram, without Facebook. Like people knew. So
yeah, I remember doing some of his flash when I was first starting out. This stuff was always awesome. So great. Yeah. So
exactly.
Cool. So what's the name of your shop?
Immaculate Concept.
Okay. We're in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Calgary, Alberta, yeah.
Yeah.
Right downtown. Thinking of moving. It's a little too much down here. So, there's cheaper rent out in the suburbs. So.
Oh, that's cool. You also are the proprietor, host, purveyor, supporter,
organizer, I guess.
Organizer.
The Calgary and the Edmonton tattoo shows.
Which if people don't know is fucking huge.
You should see it now. It's last year. I almost didn't make it. It was huge. This year in Calgary, we'll have 600 artists for the first time.
Holy cow, that's wild! And it's an international spectacle.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. If you have never done one of these shows, it's like legit. You guys. I don't know if you were the first to do a lot of things, but like the way that you do the shows up there is a lot different than some of the smaller regional ones that we see happening, right? Like I think yours was the first one I went to with an ink table. Yeah,
that was an idea of mine because I mean, I came at it from an artist perspective on what I hate about going to tattoo shows. And one thing is packing ink.
Jesus.
I mean, you open your ink and there's always one of those bastard bottles that are blown up, you're like, God, it's just unorganized, it's unsanitary. So we have great sponsors like Eternal Ink sponsors our show. They send us ink each year for our ink station. So artists that don't want to use or don't want to pack their ink, they can come use our ink station. So we have silverback, all that. Everyone has to wear gloves while they pour out ink so nothing gets contaminated. But yeah, it's definitely we just try to do as much as we can to make it easier for the artists. We have Icon sponsors our show. They hand out the packs with the supplies and stuff. We buy all the extra stuff that isn't in their packs. That way an artist can literally just travel with their machines and needles and everything else is there.
Good to go. Yeah. I thought that was genius. The one thing I didn't like is the motherfuckers who go to the table first, right when it opens, and they're dipping those extra bottles in their pockets so that they don't have to walk back.
I've seen that a few times. It's like, You know what?
Uh,
I don't think that happens anymore. I think I've heard of it happening a couple of times, but I don't have the color. Well, but you're gonna. What I don't miss is the pulling of the fire alarm in the hotel.
oh,
People don't do that anymore. Thank Christ. Like we've actually grown up. Remember every tattoo show you went to, 3 a.m, fire alarm would go
some
off.
drunk
Like,
motherfucker after the after party.
that's it. Just getting home.
Come downstairs 10 a.m, getting everything set up. Somebody's in the freaking toilet doing a little line of a wake up powder off the top of the toilet, That seems to be clear. I think the younger generation has got us all licked on that stuff. It's just a little bit more chill. Everyone's sitting with headphones on. It's quieter. There's no noise anymore because everyone's using rotaries.
Well, there's no machines anymore. It's all mostly
It's
rotaries,
wild.
I think.
You can just walk through. You don't walk out deaf.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. We used to have a sterilization area as well because I used to work at the hospital. So I'd get all my old colleagues to come in and sterilize all the tubes. What a gong show. It's 14 hours of scrubbing tubes, putting them through the autoclaves, artists yelling at you because they don't have their tube. Like it was just when disposable came in, I was like, dang.
You did all the processing on site.
We did it on site, yeah. So you'd have to bring your autoclaves in, get them tested, all that kind of, it was crazy. It was
wow.
Nice. Yeah.
I love scrubbing tubes. I find it lower meditation, but the thought of like 600 tubes, but no, I know 600 artist tubes.
No, I don't like scrubbing one. Yeah. I'm over that. Yeah. Scrubbing tubes and making needles. No, I'm done. Like I did that enough that was the first hour of every day, right? You go to work, you make your needles, you scrub your tubes, you put them in the autoclave, you get your drawing. No. I like coming in, relaxing, finishing my drawing if I need to.
Having your Monster Energy, just sit back.
Yeah,
eating some peanuts.
Yeah, I don't miss those days. I'm glad I got to experience them, but I'll never go back. It's like going wireless. If as soon as you start using a wireless machine, you're like, cool. I'm never going back.
I've never used a wireless one. People finally talked me into using a rotary last year because I was one of the holdouts.
The freedom of a wireless machine is, I couldn't imagine using it. I think I'd take the day off if my machine broke. Well, I have 2 machines. Great. So,
the days of carrying around 16 fucking coil machines and all these like Pelican cases with the extra clip cords.
I used to set up. I'm still a bit of a needle whore, so I use 5-6 needles, so I'd have to set up 5 or 6 machines. God, that was so setting those machines up. Ugh. Now you just open up your cartridges. You ready to
go? The first time I did, I noticed just the waste on my table had decreased by like 40%. Like my bench was just like there was no more garbage, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
So that kind of makes me feel eco-friendly and happy. But
we still make a lot of garbage. Like we take our garbage to the dump here, so we store it at the shop and then take it. Like, that's like every time I throw it out, I'm like, or at the tattoo show.
Oh
man, you should. It's like a bomb went off in there. Once all the tables and everything are gone, I have pictures. I'll send you some pictures. It's like a nuclear wasteland.
Wow, because like we were always really very careful to try and make sure all of our spaces were very clean. It's just respect for the space when we left. And
that's it. And I've had artists that, I won't name names, but some people, why doesn't this guy come to your show anymore? I'm like, I talked to him for a while because, like, literally business cards everywhere. Like, just like it's almost like they did it on purpose. Like, God damn it, so you're spending half an hour cleaning up their one booth. So
multiply that by 600. Yeah, you've got a week and a half.
I mean, you can invite them back because you need to save your energy. You need to save your time. And you can, there's lots more artists out there now anyway. So it's not like we're in a very lucky position right now. Is the fact that shows are selling out now. We've never sold out a show before, and our last 2 have sold out, and the one in Calgary will sell out. Wow. So, the halls are so big, you just add rows, but you have to kind of balance that on whether you can get enough people through the door and whether everyone in the room can tattoo. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no use selling someone a booth and not giving a shit about them. Like, say, I'll go to tattoo all weekend. Well, that's your fucking problem. You have to give them value for their money, right? For their booth money, which is we try and supply as much as possible at the booth. And then, we advertise, we pump it, and you have to get those people through the door. We expanded Calgary last year. We added a whole other hall, which was
that's crazy.
Risky.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But what we noticed was we didn't go up in attendance, but what we did do was I was talking to clients after, and they were like, "Oh, we were only coming for 3 hours, but we stayed for 12 because there was so much to
Oh,
see."
wow.
So it was like, so people were staying a lot longer. So now we're actually giving them value for
Oh,
their
that's
money
cool.
as well.
Yeah.
So, where I was worried I shouldn't have been, because, once it panned out, it worked out for both the artist and the
That's
client.
great. Yeah. What was your attendance numbers last year?
We do about 10,000 in Calgary. Our biggest year actually was our second and third year when we moved. Oh no, our third and fourth year when we moved from a hotel show to a big venue, which is risk. That's a big jump. A lot of shows are still in hotels because you can get cheaper rates. It doesn't cost you as much. Oh man, our first hotel show, we crammed 5,000 people in a
What?
10,000 square foot ballroom. Like, it was, parents were showing up with strollers and we're like, "You're not allowed, you can't go in." Kids aren't allowed. I'm like, "No, your stroller is, there's no room
There's no
for it. Like, you
room.
can't,
Yeah.
you have to carry your kid around."
Wow.
Like, it was a learning experience. But now we're in the bigger venue, you have bigger aisles. Like, we did quite large aisles because that way you can have more people in there. More people can freely walk around. Nothing worse than a cramped show where you can't get around.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how did you get into the business? Because I was actually thinking about this. I started tattooing around like 2002, 2003. And like, there was in Toronto, I started in Toronto, and there was one show.
Nick's.
Yeah. Was this before Nick's? It was the Toronto Tattoo Convention.
Oh, was that at the Days Inn?
Yeah.
Ooh, that was I was at that. I was a piercer at that. No. This was before that. This was
Is that when I moved to that, or did it go to it was either at the
1994.
so that
It was in the Days Inn.
and then I moved to the Hyatt, I think.
Okay, that was still Nick's.
That was Nick's. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
The Hyatt
there was
Regency.
one at the Days Inn years ago, like 1994. I went as a body piercer. I got into piercing just so I could get into tattooing. It seemed like the only way, because you couldn't get into it when I was trying back in the 90s. So I got into body piercing to get my foot in the door, and it worked. But I went to that first Toronto show. It was interesting. And then Nick's, I didn't go to the first one. Nick's started in the woods somewhere, some sort of kind of like Paradise Gathering, woods. And then they came into town, and they did hotel shows for quite a while. They didn't go to the larger venue till maybe 5-6 years ago.
Oh, no shit.
Now they're at the Metro Toronto
Convention Center. Yeah. Theirs is pretty big too.
Unfortunately, Damien passed away during COVID, so
oh no,
super sad. And the sad part is he didn't get to live to see the fruit of his labor. Do you know what I mean? Like, past 15, 16 years have been tough. Like, doing tattoo shows, it's fucking hard. Like, I've had my record. It's funny. I hold my negative records as records. I think my record for losing money at a show is 86 grand. So you wake up Monday morning, you're minus $86,000. You're like, okay, fuck. So, and I know Damien always fucking, like, "Oh yeah, fucking having a great show, fucking blah, blah, blah." And I'd look around, I'm like, well, it's fucking dead. I know he's hurting, but he always had a brave face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now that tattooing has exploded since COVID, would have been nice for him to be able to kind of enjoy that. Do you know what I mean? Like, because now Dan Alliston partnered with Damien before COVID. They never got to do a show together because Damien passed away, but now Dan runs the show, and he's doing a great job. So,
how did you get into doing the whole convention stuff?
I never wanted to do it ever. I didn't. I didn't. Fuck it. I'm busy tattooing. I mean, tattooing. Just back then, in the 90s, you were working 7 days a week. You still work 7 days a week. Fuck, it's stupid. But a couple of buddies that weren't tattoo artists, and they were like, "Come on, let's do a show together." Blah blah blah. And they tried and tried, and I don't know what got me, but you know what it was? There was a guy talking about doing a show in town that wasn't a tattoo artist, like by himself, and I'm like, nah, fuck, that's not cool. I still don't think that should happen. You know what I mean? Non-tattooists owning shops or non-tattoo artists owning tattoo shows. It's just a money grab. It's a money grab. And people call me out, "Oh, you must be fucking, it's a money grab for." No, it's not. If I told you what I owed, you'd fucking fall over. So my buddies just taught me into it, and there was 3 of us that did the first show. It was a huge success. It was rammed just because it was the first show, and back then you had different advertising avenues. So you had the newspaper, you had entertainment magazines, you had old school stuff which you could pay for, and you'd have something to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something concrete. You'd have this full page ad, or we went crazy with advertising. I spent about $40,000 a year for the first 12 years, like just putting everything into it. And now, man, my advertising budget is lower because it doesn't go anywhere. You know, you can spend 10 grand on Instagram and you don't see shit. Like even for like I did one for tattooing last year sometime, $500. Didn't get me a message, didn't get me anything. It's just like it's useless. So I think it was easier for that back then to start a show. Like it's easier now because you have Instagram and all that kind of stuff, but I don't think the reach is. You have to work it right.
Yeah. One of the classes that I teach down here is on like SEO, SEM, and website stuff, and then debunking some of the algorithmic myths attached to each one of those platforms about how they're going to do stuff. Just how people do advertising. It's not these companies are not here to make you money. They're here to make money.
To make them. Yeah. I mean, remember Facebook was like, it used to be good. You used to pay for ads to get people on your page. So we spent like a fair bit, like maybe $4,000 to $10,000 on our shop and our show probably separately. So you get your shop page up to 16,000 people. You're like, cool, I got a great viewership now. Yeah. Then you put an ad out now and it's just like 400 people see it. Like out of 16,000. And you can spend up to, I think last time I looked, it was up to $2,600 you could spend, but you could only reach 2,600 people. You couldn't reach more than that. And it's just like, so I paid you to get these people on my page, and now it's fucking useless. Unless I mean, I guess they do see your posts every now and then, and they go to your page. But it's just, it's almost like a huge ripoff. You know what I mean? Like they just keep moving the bar. They keep moving the goal line.
Yeah.
It's fair.
They want you to focus on brand building instead of conversions, and it doesn't make any sense with that stuff. Yeah, and I think there's only 2 places in North America where people go to actually find something. Usually, first it's Google, and then like you don't go to Instagram and say like, "What's a good Thai place around here?"
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so
I gotta up my Google. That's for sure.
Anyway, sorry to fucking non sequitur off there. So. What was the year of the first show that you put out?
2004.
Mm-hmm.
My memory's not going yet. I know all the numbers. I know all the attendance. And we did good those first 2 years. But I've had lots of tattoo artist friends ask me over the years, thinking of doing a show. What would be your one piece of advice? And I said, if you're going to give me only one, don't fucking do it. It's not for. I'm just too far in. Do you know what I mean? Like I've put so much in. I just got to keep. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's nice being on this side of things. Like our first 4 or 5 years were great, and then it kind of did a slump.
Yeah,
a few things happened. We lost our venue for a year, so we had to move into the summer. So our attendance went from 10,000 down to 3,000, and then that was a slow build up again.
Yeah,
that was the year I lost 86 grand. I had bills for 9,000. We get 9,000 people. We'll be in the clear. Oh fuck! And then we started building Edmonton again. Like we did Edmonton a couple of times, didn't work out. And then a guy went up there and started using basically our name to put his own show on, a non-tattoo artist.
Yeah,
he had a 50,000 square foot hall with 12 artists in attendance.
What?
Petting zoo, like it was just a fucking joke. But people thought it was me, because his name was so close to mine. So we went back up to Edmonton and then started doing, and that took about 5 or 6 years to get the momentum back in Edmonton, to get people to realize that wasn't us and we actually do a good show. So
that's amazing.
Scabs, when you get in
and fucking scabs.
We picked that one off. And
how many other venues do you know, like maybe across Canada, were going on at the time when you decided to get into it?
Nick's was the only show going, I think. I asked Damien to come out to Calgary. Okay, Damien, come out to Calgary, fucking do a show. Like it'd be great. And I think he called around, made some calls, and he was just like, nah, it's not for me. So then I started planning with my partners at the time, and I'm like, cool. Well, and I called him and said, we're doing a show. Had a bit of a blowout, me and him for about a week or two. But that was Damien. If I phoned some friends to let them know that Damien had passed before it hit Facebook. And I phoned Jamie Henderson in New York, and I'm like, got some sad news that Damien passed the other day. And he's like, oh, fuck, dude, we weren't talking. Like we had a squabble 6 months ago. I feel so bad. I said, that means you were his friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck, we've all had fights with Damien. Then you both pull your heads out of your asses and you carry on with it. That's what made Damien. You know what I mean? Like, if he wasn't yelling at someone,
No,
it wasn't Damien.
it's a different
Yeah.
industry. Things have slowly evolved, I think, away from that.
Oh,
where-
yeah, definitely. But I miss that kind of character a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, fucking turn off my fucking sound here. Jesus Christ. Apologize.
I'm looking at myself in this eye, like I'm not even awake yet.
Oh yeah, the time change fucked me up because when I first talked to you, I remember like we're gonna do it at 10 o'clock, and my brain went straight back to Alberta time. And so I was like today, I was like, oh fucking 10 o'clock, that'd be all right, bud. And my wife comes down, she's like, hey, you're on West Coast time, buddy.
What time is it there right now?
I'm an hour
9?
behind. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's not bad.
No. It was a little bit rough the other day when we recorded, I think at like 9 a.m. and we talked to somebody on the East Coast. So that was yeah. And my work days are kind of crazy. I travel a lot. So one of the commutes that I have to do is like 4 hours one way. And so I got home at like 3 a.m. I was just like grabbed a nap, 4 cups of coffee, go out like, what's up? Fucking brain fogged as fuck.
I stopped drinking. I stopped doing anything. I can't anymore. You know what I mean? Like, just to keep your schedule, you can't afford a hangover.
No.
Like, if you're running a business, I mean, I guess you can. I mean, who was it? Joe Rogan came out the other day. I got to stop fucking going. Like, he'll be dead in a few years if he doesn't. Like, you got a lot of shit going on. You need to buckle down and concentrate on it.
Just
you know what I mean? Like,
chill the fuck out, right? Yeah. Okay, so you were the second convention
don't quote me.
That of, we'll say.
But now obviously every city has a show. Winnipeg has 2.
What?
Well, they didn't have one for the longest time, and then 2 shops got together to do a show, and then they just started arguing, and so one did their show and one did the other. It's working for them, I think.
Wow, that's crazy.
I mean, I'd like to bring people in on the show. I don't need accolades, or I don't need anything really. I mean, but to find someone that has the passion for it is, I think tattoo artists think they have the passion for it until, they're pulling a 22-hour day on the Friday of the show, and they're like, no, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to get fucking done. Like, happens, shit falls apart. No matter how well planned you are, I've figured it out. Someone else may fuck that up. Someone else's bad planning, like the trucking company, or you got to be so fucking organized to be able to walk in and think it's going to be a breeze, because stuff always comes up. Do you know what I mean? Like, one thing lately is our power bars. We keep buying power bars. Yes, our show is expanding, but like, where the fuck are all these power bars? Like, did we lose a box of power bars, like a crate of them or something? And we realized that it's artists just grabbing power bars at the end of the show. Like, we lose 60 to 100 a show.
No kidding.
Just like,
that's a large percentile. It's not 10. That's
that's it. Well, I mean, we need 600 artists. Maybe not that many. We have probably 400 power bars usually, so we lose 30, 40, 50 of them maybe.
Well, still, it's a $1,000, $2,000 out the door.
Well, it's just that's it, right? And then our one show, I'm a bad procrastinator still years in. I should be going out and ordering paper towel and having it delivered to our warehouse. You know what I mean? Like, but we're 1 month out and I still haven't done it. During COVID, it was like, oh, we have a 1 pack of paper towel per customer. And we're like, I need 50. Like, what the fuck? So we just drove around all day. I took the system with me, and we went to Costco, and we got 1 each, and went to the car, came out, got 1 each, came out, got 1 each. Went to the next Costco. It was stupid. But during middle of COVID, you couldn't do. We ran our shows all the way through COVID. It was just like We missed one Edmonton show, but we did Calgary every year. I mean, it went from 450 artists down to 96. It was weird, but
Wow.
yeah, we're back up now. We were at 500 artists last year, so we're back up finally.
Yeah, I didn't even think about how that would possibly impact some like just basic supply chain issues when you're coming into this with the organization you're talking about. It's like even having a direct vendor contact, it
gloves are
doesn't matter.
still a bit of a issue, but not too bad. You can
Especially
get
the
them now.
quality, eh? Like quality has just gone in a lot of places, even if the price has
I
gone
get
up.
good shit.
Oh, you get good.
Oh fuck that. No, I have a good supplier.
Mm.
They always sell. We have a brand up here that's really good.
No.
Yeah, actually, that was the only one available during COVID, so I started using this one brand, and they're great.
You want to give a shout out to that brand so people can start fucking buying their stuff.
Going back to Icon gloves, I like Icon gloves.
Oh, yeah.
They're nice and thick. They're
Yeah.
thankfully they're back.
They're not $35 a box now. No.
Not anymore. No.
Some of the things people don't know that we had to deal with.
Oh, that
finding
35.
gloves.
I mean, and we're on rent, right? So we're not making
Yeah.
any extra money. But I mean, I did one glove order for the shop. It was over $2,000.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, that came out of my pocket. Luckily, I got a loan from the government, so that just disappeared. That was 60,000 that just went
Yeah.
like in the air. So got to pay that back now, right? So worry about it next year.
So let's talk about your shop, because I mean, like your shop, one of the it started in the 90s. Oh, those early aughts, right? You said 2004, 96. Okay, then the show started in 2004. So in 96, what was the culture like in tattooing up in Alberta?
It was all flash based, really. I mean, you tried to push your custom stuff, but your walls were still covered in flash. I remember talking to another artist in town. He was like, one day we'll have shops with no flash. And I'm like, come on, you need a bit of flash to make it look like a tattoo shop. I haven't had flash for 15 years. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not, I mean, I think some shops do it, but it's out of our mind altogether. Like, it's all custom now. I mean,
the idea of a street shop or a walk-in shop is kind of evaporated, right?
There are some in town. I drive by them and I see flash on the walls and shit. I don't know how much of it they do, but I mean, it was right for the time. Do you know what I mean? Back then, but now, why would you pay 450 for a flash piece when you can get a custom piece for exactly the same price?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's drawn for you. No one else has it, or should be drawn.
It's kind of interesting. We were talking with Damon Conklin the other day, and we were talking about like how AI is impacting stuff. And one of the things we kind of all agreed on is that, you look at the history of tattooing, we go back and we'll see like a lot of customization at the initial like onset of it in the Western world, right? Slowly led into the Flash application. We moved back into customization, and it's kind of like this move from innovation back down to foundational aspects. And it kind of seems like that may be occurring moving forward with this AI image generation stuff. Like,
I think the AI stuff will just make better tattoos, really. I mean, some of those AI pictures are amazing.
They're fucking wild, right?
And so instead of ripping off the original artist, we're ripping off 7 blended into one.
Which
there's no change whatsoever. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
it'd be like us taking, I want to do that Varga piece, but I don't want to do a basic, like, hey, what if I take an Elfgreen girl with a Varga outfit and blend them all together? Well, AI is just going to do that for you, and hey, there you go. You have a piece all of your own. Like, I think it's custom, right? Like when I mean, I haven't worked on it at all or tried it, but if I type in the same thing that a guy somewhere else types in, are they going to get the same image, or are they going to get a different generated image?
It's going to be, I think there's a chance that it could come up, but for the most likely outcome is going to be different. I've tested it for about a week and a half now. I've spent about 400 hours worth of processing time on this thing in a week and a half. So a bit of time, and I've tried multiple prompts at the same time, and I've never come up with a similar image.
Oh, so there you go. I think it actually, I don't know. I think the world's all quite negative. You know what I mean? Like, it's all fear mongering.
Yeah.
Politicians are trying to, put the fear in us and that's how they're getting it, because they all suck. Left and right all suck. You know what I mean? So they figure out what the right hates, and they're fucking going after trans people now. You know what I mean? They figure out and that's the only way they can get people together, because they suck at their job.
Yeah.
Do better job.
That's the thing. I think we've been talking about that too. Like me and Brian on the back end here, is that there's never been a decent politician, and this is the greatest smokescreen ever.
Well, that's what Bill always says. He's my favorite comedian ever, and he's like, "Don't vote for them. It only encourages the bastards." And that, like, they don't care about you. They just care about getting their pension and getting there, and that's it. Don't give a shit about anyone.
Oh, you're British. Just
Whoa,
came
I'm a little
out.
negative there, aren't I?
That's so fucking. That was so British. That was awesome, right? Yeah. So, like with the image AI, you are a person you think that you're willing and able to adapt with this change coming forward.
I mean, you have to adapt, and I think running a tattoo show has given me a skill of pivoting and you know what I mean? Like, it's just shit happens and you're like, okay, we got to do this. And you know, you got to change up as quick as possible to save your ass. So COVID sucked balls, I have to say that. But there's like, well, we have no fucking choice, right? So I mean, I was at work every day. I came in, I painted the shop top to bottom, cleaned everything out, fixed all the things that I couldn't have time to get to. That was the first lockdown. The second lockdown, I fixed all the sinks. We have, our health board is a little strict here. So we have like portable sink units that have hands-free faucets in them. And so they're kind of falling apart from years of use. So I spent 4 weeks fixing those, you know, got to do shit that I just wouldn't have time to do. And then when the doors open again, I worked 7 days a week. You know, and I saw artists going like, you know, we've been in lockdown for 3 months and then it opened up again. And then 2 weeks later, they're going camping. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, work. Like, your fucking doors are open. You've been bitching about it. And now you can, and you're going fucking camping for 2 weeks. Like, I fucking worked my ass off. I had to bring money back into the shop and get paid. I mean, our bills, you know, I think they're all paid now from the shop. You know, or I didn't open my electrical bill at the shop at all during COVID. Like during the first lockdown, I opened it. It was like $6,000. I'm like, oh. You know, we're all in this together, though, right? Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, that's actually pretty great. Well, with the been mentioned COVID a couple of times. What happened up in I guess Alberta, or at least in the tattoo community during COVID? Did you guys see a big contraction and the amount of shops that were actually available in the areas around there? Or
you mean like did more shops open, or
yeah, did you see more opening, closing, or did everything just kind of stay the same?
I mean, a couple closed, a lot more have opened over the, it's weird, everyone wants their own shop until they realize, oh, you know, artists ask me, oh, I want to open my own place, what should I do? I'm like, don't. Like, you have insurance, you know, insurance is due every year, $2,600. You know, your electrical, your gas, I mean, it's not as easy as you think. And everyone wants to open up their own shop. Like, oh, it's just gonna be 2 of us. It's gonna be awesome. And then they open up their shop with 2 of them, and then realize, oh, we can't pay the bills. So then they have to hire 2 or 4 more artists, and that it's a perpetual.
Yeah.
It just keeps going and going, and I think we're at the breaking point right now. You know what I mean? Like, I was looking into shops. Tattoo shops in Alberta have doubled every 4 years since about 1988.
No kidding.
Well, there used to be, I mean, it's probably the same everywhere.
Yeah.
There used to be 2 shops in town, then there were 4, then there were 8, then there were 16, then there were 32. Now we're in the hundreds, and in 4 years, I mean, it's so easy to get into tattooing right now.
Yeah.
So if, let's say we have 200 shops in Calgary right now, in 4 years, we're going to have 400, if not more. Wow. So that's the breaking point where I keep telling my artists, you know, like, some will come in if they're not booked, and they'll be sitting around on their phone for like 4 hours. You know what I mean? Like, just like
waiting,
sitting on Instagram, trying to get an appointment. I'm like, dude, just book 3 days. That's it. And paint and do prints and do other shit for your other days. And that way, when a tattoo show comes along, you can sell those prints and you can make back some of the money that you lost. But sitting here on your phone for 4 hours, I mean, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're not getting anywhere. Like, paint or do something.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
it's a day-to-day mindset.
Smart, or take the day off and go hang out with your wife and kids. I mean, that's something I never did enough. You know, I hang out with my kids tons now, but you know, working 7 days a week, it's brutal on relationships. So maybe do it smarter. You know what I mean? Where you're going to make the exact amount of money, but you have more time. You're not here every day.
Yeah, look at that yearly earnings versus just the day-to-day. I think, you know, the weekly or daily payouts, I think, have killed stuff, you know, as well as like the percentage cuts, which I think back in the day, and up until more recently, I've always done a cut. But it didn't make sense to me as to why, because I'd see that final number in like my first 10 years, and I thought I was worth that amount. When
Yeah.
realistically, I wasn't. I didn't make that. That's what the client was charged. So I
Yeah.
made this much. I'd make $100 an hour, not
Yeah.
150, not
Oh yeah.
175. No,
Yeah.
I made $100 an hour. So I had planned my life around this $150 an hour lifestyle, but realistically, I couldn't do it. So I was always
I'm guilty
panicking.
of that.
Yeah.
All I do, I don't go out, so I don't drink. So I save money there. I don't do drugs, so I save money there. It's funny that I consider that saving money.
Yeah.
Life is tough. I've never done coke ever, and I hear that's expensive shit. Like,
yeah, in Alberta, it's
I
kind of
guess
expensive.
if they don't have kids, I guess it's
It's
easier to do, right? But yeah, it's tough out there. It's weird.
Yeah, and I think that maybe the digital age has kind of removed some of that personalization, right? Like when we see looking back like magazines and stuff, we talked about,
Yeah.
Damon had mentioned this, where when you looked at a spread of like someone's tattoo artwork, you got to see the whole person, right? And you
Yeah.
got to see their character and stuff, and you could connect with it, and there was much more personal. And now it's just like this, you just take a picture of an arm with no face, and it's just like this little 2x2 inch,
That's what I was told
prints.
quite a few years ago. You need to start putting more personal stuff on Instagram because people want to see that part, right? Unfortunately, I mean, doing these shows has kind of killed my tattoo career a little bit because I just fucking, there's not enough time in the day. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I haven't been able to promote myself as well. I love to do realistic portraits. I can't remember the last one I did. You know what I mean? Like it's been fucking months. Like it's just, I'm just doing clients what they want. You know what I mean? Like you try and make it original, try and make it as cool as possible, but you come up with a fucking cool one. They're like, oh, finally, I'm gonna have something to post on Instagram. They're like, nah, I don't like it. I just want what I sent in. You're like, fuck. The generic. Yeah. But my salesman, that's when your salesman skills have to come in, right?
Yeah.
It's tough, but so many tattoo shops in Calgary. There's a lot of people doing realism. So it's it's a little tough to get what you want. You know what I mean? Like I still do complimentary tattoos on several clients, you know what I mean? Just so I can get something to post on Instagram, because that's the only way I can keep up and post.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, the thing about Instagram is the evolution of tattooing has accelerated 100-fold, because remember years ago we'd like pick up a magazine, you'd see someone in, I remember Germany was like fucking
huge
people coming out of Germany, right? 20 years ago. Like Germany is the place, but that guy took a picture of that tattoo probably a year before that magazine, sent it in, finally collected enough photos to send into a magazine, sent them in. Magazines used to print 3-6 months out, and they'd sit in the warehouse. So it would be a year. So he'd do this amazing tattoo in Germany or Russia. You'd see it in a magazine a year later.
Yeah.
Now I can see a tattoo done in Germany before it's even fucking bandaged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he'll post it. So instead of seeing it once every year, and we're evolving every year, we're seeing it every day now. Yeah. So it's just evolved that talent. And the new kids coming in, look at, we've busted our ass for 25 years, come up with this portrait that we think is, one of our best pieces. And they're looking at it going, oh, that's what you do. Cool. And that's their fucking starting point. You're like, oh, and they're killing it, you know how else killing it?
Yeah, 2 years old in the industry. I mean, doing stuff it's impossible.
Female tattoo artists now are killing it. Remember, it was hard to get into this industry.
Yeah.
It was the old school club, and now they've taken over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they have, and I get it, because females like to be tattooed by other females.
Yeah.
So they don't have that kind of, there are creeps out there still. We're dealing with that issue.
Yeah.
And males want to get tattooed by females. So I think that might be one of the problems. I'm old. No one wants to be tattooed by the old guy, right? Like it's you get a few people, but it's and good for them. Like I think they did a poll during COVID. They figured out that over 80% of tattoo shops in Ontario are owned by females.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good on him. You know what I
That's
mean?
really
Like
wild.
to not be able to get into an industry for so long and now to kick ass. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, when I started out there, I think there was less than 15 shops in Toronto. Like,
Know the Toronto scene very much. Like
but now, like
they
I
have so
imagine
many
there's gotta be
suburbs, you
so
know what I
many.
mean?
Yeah,
Like they
yeah,
have
yeah.
like it's weird, like each city is around Toronto. So
Yeah.
there's so
Yeah,
many
Brampton, Mississauga,
suburbs to
Etobicoke. Yeah, you
Toronto.
got
Yeah.
York, North York.
Yeah.
Everything
Well, we have
around it.
Calgary, that's it. Nothing
Yeah.
around until Red Deer, you know.
Fucking Lethbridge and shit. Fucking.
That's it. But there's people in now in little towns in Alberta. I believe his name's Mirza. He tattoos in Olds, I think. Fucking killing it. But like amazing black and gray. I don't know how he gets all of the clients he does in a little dick town like that. Like it's the middle of nowhere.
What's the drive
It's
out of
on
like?
the highway between
Oh, it
Calgary,
is. Oh, okay.
but still, like
It's a,
that's impressive. That's kind of an original way to go. I
it's
don't
like
know.
I guess Gogway, right? Being down in Grants Pass in Oregon. It's 5 hours from the airport.
Yeah, but they're living their life, right? Once you get
Yeah.
enough clientele, like Guy Aitchison, right? He's in the woods somewhere.
And yeah, the middle of he's in the we had Gabe Ripley on the show, which, like Gabe
Yeah,
talked to you, yeah. And we were talking about the farm, and he's like, it's this
yeah.
mystical place, but it's like 2 hours to get there. You got to come out for
Living
a
his
week.
life, right? Like it's yeah. You want to
Yeah,
get tattooed by him, you'll make that journey,
that's so
which
wild.
I need to do. I got a piece started, oh shit, 15, 20 years ago, and I still haven't gotten it finished.
Time to
Thanks
reach
to the
out.
tattoo shows, right? Like you
Uh,
just like you're either broke or you just don't have the time.
yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Have you, well, as we kind of touched on like the younger generation, this is something I've been trying to ask people who are in the position possibly to have trained people. Like, are you active in the education of any new artists, anything like this, moving forward?
That's a sticky situation, like apprenticeships are the way to go, I think. I have a different model on how I would apprentice someone. As to, I mean, there's the old school way, like come in, clean my car, clean
Yeah.
the washroom. I personally think that has gone. You know what I mean? Like it's like if you do that to your apprentice, they're going to be a year behind everyone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people are going into shops and learning right away. So I think that kind of people says it teaches respect and all that. I get it. I try not to teach because you're just teaching for other people. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. That's one of the biggest things in tattooing is the ego. You know what I mean? Like people get an ego, 3 or 4 months in. Like who the fuck? What are you thinking? You know what I mean? Like, I've got a better opportunity now. I'm like, the fuck? Like, that's just insane. So I just saw a shop in town here. She's training, I think she trained 4 people recently, and then 2 have left. One girl was asking here forever. I'm like, no, we don't. We just don't have the time or the energy. And so I suggested this other shop, and now they're leaving already. Maybe they're not even a year in.
Holy cow.
So
Wow.
that's the sticky. I think seminars are good, but I think you need to do apprenticeship. Tattoo schools, like if a shop is doing tattoo classes or tattoo school, they don't come to our show. They're not allowed.
Okay.
It just, I know the industry has changed and I know it's going that way, but I can't be a part of it. You know what I mean? Like I just, it would bother my conscience to know that I'm promoting a shop that just teaches anyone that, I mean, because you should have talent to get in. You know what I mean? Like someone brings in a portfolio, you look at it, you're like, it's okay, but I think you need to be phenomenal to get into it these days, just to compete.
Yeah.
Like, why are people wasting time on people that, oh, we'll teach you how to draw? No, they should know how to draw.
Mm-hmm.
Like they should come in with that portfolio that blows your socks off so much that even if you don't want to teach, you're like, fuck, okay, I'll teach you. You know what I mean? Because you deserve it. You have already put in the time.
Yeah.
A lot of people come in, and we had one guy a few years ago. He's like, yeah, I went to this other shop and they wanted 10 fucking drawings. How ridiculous. So I'm like, cool, well, we want 20. So you don't want to put the fucking work in. Like, holy, like you're not meant for it then. We have enough tattoo artists that work 3 days a week and think that's full time. Like, we have enough of those. We need some good, hardworking individuals in the industry. You know what I mean? So, and people that deserve it. You know what I mean? Like, I look at some apprenticeship photos and it's like, fuck, I can't even draw yet. I mean, I'm guilty. I don't draw much.
No.
Just because of the tattoo show. Like I'm constantly doing stuff. So it has affected my own
But you've got decades in the business too. So like the foundational aspects, you have decades in the business. So there's a difference, I think, with that. You know, like you know how to tattoo.
It was different back when I got into it for sure. Because you just did flash pieces and then you worked on your custom stuff as you went. But now when you come in, you have to be able to draw because that it's all custom stuff. I mean,
to draw and efficiently. You can't just like take. I mean, I remember when I first started, a custom piece would take me a couple weeks, and now I have to have 5 done a day. You know?
Yeah, that's right. Like it's so much harder. I kind of miss the old days because of that. You walk in on a Saturday. What am I doing? Oh, Cherry Creek stuff and this. That's nice.
Got some Bartel up on the board here. That's fun. Yeah.
That one fucking butterfly with the rose was about that big.
Little fucking one. Yeah, the $60 jammers and do 1,000 of those a year. That paid my rent. That
come in on a Saturday, you'd have 4 of them, 4 different people that didn't know each other. Like, oh, geez.
That kanji symbols, remember?
You used to bitch about it, but fuck, kind of miss it. Easy money, right? Like,
easy money. Yeah. Those old English letters, you know, I don't know how many times I've done old English down an arm in my first like 3 to 4 years. I get just crushing them. That was the most like, and black tribal, like Leo Zuleta stuff, like where you just like, man, I wish I had 2 sleeves of that shit right now. Like that would just be fantastic, right?
No.
No one likes packing black anymore. But I mean, I think that's starting to become a lost aspect.
They do now. It's just black out. Now there's no outlines. It's just black everywhere.
What do you think about the 120 groupings?
Have
you seen those bags?
I don't get it because they're not going to pack it very well.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like they're not, unless you're running that thing so fucking high, then you're going to damage the skin a little. It's just weird to me. I don't think like. I use small needles all the time. Even now, like the largest I use now is still only a 17, and that's for large areas.
Yep.
So I'm thinking the larger the needle, I just don't think it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
No, we've got some physics behind that.
I was doing a huge blackout. I'd use a 27.
Maybe.
That's about as big as I'd go, and then you can pack it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're still having to stretch so fucking hard. You know, like if I'm using a 7. Mag, just you don't have to do anything to the skin, it just goes in, you know.
7 mags and 5 mags. Fucking love it.
That's my jam. I do 3, 5, 7,
people
9.
look at you and like, what the fuck you doing? Oh really? It's exactly what I use. 3 liners, 5 liners. That's it. I don't use over a 5 liner ever. It's just not.
It doesn't work for me either. I tried using a 7 yesterday and I was just like, nope, in the fucking sharps. I was just done. I couldn't.
It's an ugly line, right? Like,
yeah, it's inconsistent. You gotta go back up to 3 and
anyway.
You gotta repolish everything when you go into it. Anyways, it's just a waste
of
time.
Good for traditional, good for neo-trad, but I don't do that. So
no
way.
Yeah. That's funny.
And round shaders. No one uses round shaders. And I'm just like, well, you have to. To get into those edges and shit. Like, I use a round shader every fucking tattoo. I talked to one of our artists who did neo-trad for 2 years. You got to try a round shader. Yeah. And you can always see little gaps in, in the deep part of the flower and shit. You're like, round shader, use a round shader. She left the shop and then a year later messaged me, oh my God, I tried to I'm like, holy fuck.
Tattooers are so fucking stubborn, trying to get them to change anything, right? If you try to get them, because like most of our experience now, when somebody does a mistake, it's never the artist's fault, which probably goes to boost the fucking ego, right? It's either your needles, your ink, or your machine that's the problem. It's never that you suck. And so when we hold on to those 3 things and keep blaming them, it's really hard to change any of that organization. It's never like, maybe you should just get fucking better and try new things. No, it's just, you're using that brand. No, you got to use this one. They're way better. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense. You know, if you have a $20 cam machine, little cam machines you get for free, you know, you have cam ink and cam needles, you can do just as good of a job as, you know how to tattoo than somebody else who's using a $1,200 machine. Make it better. You do?
Yeah. That's why you shameless plug. That's why you Cheyenne. I see people complain about their machines and their needles all the fucking time on Facebook. Oh, I'm fucking, these are too sharp. I'm like, I'm just here. I don't have time to fuck around. You know, like coil machines. I go upstairs. We have one artist that still uses a coil. I'm like, I'm an asshole. I go, what are you doing? I'm just tuning. Oh, interesting. Not time for that shit no more. I like to come to work and fucking work. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I bought 2 Cheyenne machines just so if one breaks,
We have
I
a
have another.
backup. Yeah, but so we'll go with
It doesn't
QC.
break. Like they don't break.
The
Like
QC on their products. I can't say anything about German engineering, but their stuff
oh,
is consistently
and needles,
right.
God, you go through this routine of checking new needles every fucking day, but it
Yeah.
seems like you're just wasting time because and then you got people, oh fuck, I had to go through like a whole pack of needles to find one good one. I'm like, buy better fucking needles. Like, what a waste of time and effort. Like, and that's your client. I mean, that's what you do your work with. Yes, it's your talent, but if you're using the cheapest needle possible, I got some fucking cheap fucking cartridges the other, I wouldn't want to get tattooed by you.
Do you think you could still accomplish the
Like
same things with the cheap supplies if you were given them?
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
I think I'd struggle. I think it would affect I like zero distractions, right? I love wireless because it's nice and quiet.
Yeah.
Rotary.
Yeah.
Nice and quiet. And you got wireless now, so that's one less thing up your ass. You know what I mean? That fucking cord. You roll over your cord, you fucking
I go through 20 a year. Easy. Yeah.
Like, and that's one I haven't used a foot switch for 12 years.
Yeah.
Like I started using Neotats and then I bought one of the little things on the back that just keeps it running constantly. I used to have leg problems with a foot switch, working all the time.
Yeah.
I'd have to go get my leg massaged. I think it was sciatic issues. Like it was agony. Got rid of my foot switch. Guess what? No more leg problems. No. So artists need to be careful of their health as well. And just by getting rid of all the little nuances, like getting rid of your cord, getting rid of your foot switch, using good needles, so you're not using a good machine, so it's not sputter. Can you imagine if your machine is like cutting out, you're fucking trying to you're like, fuck.
I use a $40 machine.
Eliminate all of that, and your life will be. I think your life will be easier, and your life will be.
Maybe it's like setting people up to succeed. Like I think that your skill is good enough that I could give you a $10 machine off of eBay, and you could still slay. Personally, I don't think you'd like it.
I could probably do a good tattoo, but I wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
And
like, yeah.
Tattooing is stressful enough. Like it's tough. Yeah, no. Just want to have. I want to have the best chance possible. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like stencils. I still do old school stencils. The new school stencils, the program that you can use to
like those.
Oh, fuck off! Like so, if you start out with a 70% stencil, guess what? You're gonna end up with like a 60 to 90% tattoo. You're never gonna get 100% tattoo, I don't think. And some of these artists are like, oh no, fucking, I love it. Then you look at their tattoos and the eyes are like this. Like, you love it though?
Somebody's done realism. What do you think about people taking the faces and they'll put them on like an arm on somebody who's very skinny and they don't adapt the design to fit the dimensions of the body?
I had that happen the other day. We're doing a mermaid. I had the top half of the thing done. I'm guilty of that. Sometimes only getting half a sleeve drawn up.
Yeah.
But put on her arm, and her arm had a really weird bend to it, and the face was like, fuck, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about guest artists. You learn a lot. Yeah. That's a problem with working by yourself. You're not going to have I really love the community kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had a guest artist in, and she was just like, no. And I thought it looked fine. And she moved it. I'm like, God damn, like I got to watch my tattoos more. Sure enough. I had a client in a little while ago, so I moved the piece down on her arm, and I'm like, it's going to be in the middle of your arm. It'll look weird, but I'll redesign it, and I have faith in it. I have no problem.
Yeah.
But of course, it looks weird because we just got the head done on her lower arm.
Oh yeah.
And 10 fucking messages over 3 days. She's freaking out. I'm just like, oh, for fuck's like, you have to trust the process, and you need to stop messaging me. Like, you tapped out after 4 hours. Like, trust me, you need to trust the process. You came to me for a reason. And it's hard because, if you're successful in tattooing, you don't get critiqued very often. And when you do, gotta kind of be nice about it. You know what I mean? Like I immediately get defensive. It's just, it's a tough thing, like, because you have to respect your clients' ideas as well. So it's like, don't worry about, so it's nice. Don't worry about it. Like, it's only half done. Like, it's not the finished piece. It's like you can't judge it by what it is. So, I already have an idea of what I'm doing. Put her hand up over her head, holding a piece of octopus. She had octopus around her neck anyway.
Cool.
So it's going to work out great, but she can't. A lot of clients can't see that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what bothers me the most is backwards tattoos still. God, that drives me. What the backwards tattoos and little tattoos on thighs. You know what I mean? Like this big,
Yeah.
right middle of a thigh. What the
A
fuck?
penny-sized one on like a left scapula or something, right? You get something this big on the back. Like, why'd you do that?
That's fine. You can cover it up when you do the back piece, but look in the forward, look in the future, right? Like, it's just like, if you're getting patchwork tattoos, I guess that's fine, but it's just bothers me because what are you going to do now? I mean, we were out in England doing some filming for a side project, and the tattoo artist we were filming was doing a thigh piece, and she added stuff on the knee as well. And she's like, I always add stuff on the knee because it looks dumb to her. You know what I mean? Like a big thigh piece and you got a blank knee. Like, what are you going to do on the knee? So she always tried to bring the hair around on the knee and stuff and fill that area. Like, that's something I've never thought about. Something I'm going to try and do in the future.
Yeah. One of the I teach a course on large scale design, and like we always see the segmentation because of how we came up like tattooing. You go from small things, palm size, you start filling things in. We don't think about the body as a 3D image or space. We're always thinking about like 2D, right? XY plane on paper. So realistically, instead of having something that's flat, we got front, back, inside, and outside. And we're supposed to be thinking about all those when we get into it. And same with, we always think about the arm in two sections, and we ignored like the transitional spots, the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, knee, you know what I mean? So we always end up with this space when you look at people who haven't done a lot of large scale designs where you're making that transition down past the elbow and they've forgotten to add it into the design. When realistically, like, that's where you should start. You should start with the whole thing as a solid piece. That's why we had those old arm cutout stencils where you could draw your tattoo into them and have like a little circle for the elbow and a little hatch for the ditch and stuff. And this will work, we can go even more complex past that. And it's, I agree. Like getting to those spots, you just that. And my other issue is people doing words like the old barbed wire tattoos. Running perpendicular to the flow of the arm.
That's the worst part, because then they come in with like the tribal armband and they want a sleeve, and you're like, fuck, I got to work around the fucking arm. Like, hopefully you can cover it up. I've done some good cover ups over, tribal armbands to make, and that's the thing with cover ups. I can't stand when people do cover ups. They just blast over and don't even think about trying to cover it up. Like, you can still see a bit of it, but it's good enough. Like,
no, it's not.
It's yellow of a flower. Like, that's not a fucking cover up. No. Like or just blacking shit out to have such a dark image that looks like garbage. Anyway.
Blacking,
like, you got to work
out over the top of it. Ugh. Yeah,
and that's an argument with clients as well. The best part is making it 3 times bigger. That's the standard rule. As long as that cover up is 3 times bigger, we can hide that old piece of shit you have in part of the design, and not, because you don't want people to go, hey, what's under there?
Yeah,
that's not how it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? So that's satisfying when you can do a cover up and you can't tell it's a cover up. That's totally. Especially when it's a big nasty one. Like, when on Inkmaster, when you see them taking the easy one, it's like, nah, take the fucking tribal band and fucking slay it. And that shows you, I mean, you want to be called an Inkmaster and you're picking the easiest fucking way out. Fucking do a cover up. Pick the hardest one that's fucking horrible to do, and if you do even if you're only halfway there, still better than picking the easy one. I think.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I think a lot of people don't get with like cover ups too, or clients especially. You think that you could be one and done, and for best results, you need multiple sits on anything you're going to be going over top. It's not, but also not just a one and done thing.
It's weird explaining the fact that I want tribal to cover this, and you're like, well, tribal works on the positive and the negative. You're going to see your tattoo in the negative. It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
Or they want script over cover up is a weird word. It's blending. You know what I mean? You're blending the one, disguising the old one, You can't, and nothing covers black, right?
Yeah. We had the three, we have an article on the website about this. We have the 3 types of cover ups. You got the blast overs, the distraction, where you like move it somewhere inside of it, or the redirect. Right. So you can hide something inside of it and kind of distract where it is. You can redirect by putting something more, fancy or whatever next to it and dumping it in the background, or you could just put something over top. And everyone thinks you just put something over top of it, and it'll be fucking fine. And that is not.
That'd be-
That doesn't
Yeah.
work. It does unless you've got somebody who's going to come in for 6, 7, 8 sessions and slowly build values by knocking that color out of the skin, where you're going to increase chances of scarring. It's not going to fucking work. You know,
I
you
did
got to
a
be really
cover
good for that.
couple of years ago that was like she had a big black Buddha on the it was dark. I'm like, I said I can, do the best I can, but it's not going to look perfect. Like she needs to know right from the start. It's not going to be as if I started this tattoo blank canvas. And it came out pretty happy with it. Took, probably 6, 7, 8 sessions, just going over and over it, seeing how it heals, and then going in and readjusting some of the values and stuff. Because I don't like going in with black and just blacking over everything, or how people go over black outline. Like you got an old shitty tattoo and they go over it with black, and they're like, "Fuck, it's still showing through." I'm like, "Yeah, because you made the black." Like, come on, think about it.
There's something already in there. You're adding
fill
to
in
it.
all the blank spaces, and then you can blast over it, and then it'll. But no, they're going over. I've been over it 3 times and it's still showing through.
Yeah.
The fourth, even blacker. Like,
You're gonna keep going over it. It's gonna take you 100 sessions to be able to it's like taking a cup of ink that's black and slowly adding another color to it. You're gonna have to refill that cup, even with it spilling over so many times, to change it, and it's never going to be the value that you want.
No, never.
And what is black? It absorbs energy. Come on, people, learn some chemistry. Fucking A. That's why we tint with grays and not blacks and whites. Any hoozles. Let's go on to our thing here. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here, and let's see if we can read a couple of these. I'll put in a cut point right here.
Cool.
If you are, let's open this up here. Yeah, here, I'll zoom in a little bit here. So I'll read the bit here, and it says that as most of the world knows, because Steve is originated from the merry old England, British humor relies on insults, accents, and dry wit. So why don't we read aloud a few insults and facts to each other to commemorate the new king, celebrate Canada, and help us bond with our new friend.
You already know my opinion on that. You're not supposed to attack anyone's personal appearance, but he's fucking rich. You're not gonna watch this, right? Gotta be something about those fucking ears, though. Jesus.
So if you can read it, why don't you take that first one? Let's see. Go ahead and read ahead if you want to.
Oh, I get it. We're gonna read.
Yeah.
You're as trusty as his grandma's toenails. You're all yellow thick, and I'm pretty sure you end up. What? Ended up in my mouth. I'd get grandma gonorrhea. I should know. She always gave me a squeezer. What, last summer? Yeah, I know she's dead. Freaking that doesn't make any sense. I don't know where that's.
Well, you're supposed to read it with a bit of a fucking, an East Coast Canadian accent, right?
I fucking hate I've lost my accent, and I can't. You know what? When I go over to England and I hang out at my buddy's shop and tattoo there, it comes out like you can tell, but then the day I get back, it's
just gone. Yeah. Here's one for you.
English humor is, it's the best. It's I think humor has its place. Do you know what I mean? Like, I go see some pretty racy. I try to be a better person, but humor, I don't know. You make fun of things that are, you make fun of horrible things to make it lighter. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or else just be fucking depressed all the time. Like Jimmy Carr, that guy takes it to the fucking edge.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've watched him, but
I'll add that to my list. I'm actually going to write that down.
Jimmy Carr?
Oh, Jimmy Carr? Oh, yeah, dude, he's fucked. I love Jimmy Carr. I love his attitude. He's just like, hello, everyone. How are we doing today? It's just like fucking, it's
his look too. He looks proper.
Yeah, it's just something disgusting. Yeah. All right. Well, I got one that's kind of good. This is very Canadian centric. So I'll read it with a Northern Ontario / East Coast accent here. I had a bad night last night. I dreamt your mom was giving my dad a squeezer center stage at Ed's Fest while Our Lady Peace was playing Naveed, and Nickelback got torn to shreds by a group of proficient curlers using dogs as stones.
Doesn't make any sense to me. But in that one fucking sentence, you have the 2 worst bands coming out of Canada.
Fucking A, bud. That's why we did it. Why don't you take the next one?
Like, seriously, there isn't that Our Lady piece. Fucking Nickelback is the whipping boy, and they should be. They should just give it up. I went to a tattoo show in England, and they lost their iPods, so they played Nickelback for the first day. That was the only CD they had in their car. I had paper towel in my ears with that tape, the self-adhesive tape. My booth partner was like, "Dude, it's not that bad." I'm like, "You have no idea. Like, I've never listened to them, but it's fucking bad. Like, I can't. Definitely that's where I get really picky. An Our Lady piece, that guy's voice just
bothers you. Yeah,
horrible.
Why don't you take this
Coronation Street?
Yeah.
I stopped watching it a few years ago. I got really busy, but I am going to catch up.
Nice.
My ex-wife has a whole leg sleeve of Coronation Street characters that I did.
Oh no shit. That's actually really cool.
And that went viral. You can search it online. Just search in Coronation Street tattoo and it'll
that's cool.
It'll come up. It went crazy. That was one of 2 viral tattoos I've ever had. That's tough to do. Yeah. Get a viral tattoo. You think you can't plan it because you try and plan it and you put it out there and it doesn't go anywhere. And then you do one that you think, whatever,
and it goes fucking
a little promo and it blows up. And it's just like, well, what the fuck? Like, I had 2 in 1 year, probably about 5 years ago. Haven't had one since.
That's fine. Well, I've caught every episode as of late, and I can tell you, English drama is lost on someone as attractive as me.
That's good.
I always talk about Deirdre. Come on, Deirdre. Why the long face? This is really long.
We could do this. I don't have to. You could say this one to me. This is very Canadian. We got this one in blue here. Let me read it out.
I feel like this is like some sort of a blackmail thing. Like, you're gonna have a video.
No, we're just doing jokes. We're just doing jokes. Brian's not here, so every time Brian's not here, I do jokes. So we got just the end segment is going to be our jokes, and then we'll say a couple other things. But I wanted to make sure I wrote some jokes that people in Canada may appreciate or absolutely despise. So
have you? Yeah, I don't know. Canadian humor, I don't.
I know it doesn't.
I was brought up on English humor.
Yeah,
I'm lost on this. I don't know.
All right, why don't you read this one, Steve?
Random Manitoba sucks. I'll tell you, you're losing me on this. I mean, you could probably replace Brandon with any fucking city in Manitoba. Have you ever been to Manitoba?
Shots fired.
Yeah. My ex-wife was from there.
Manitoba is, man, the flies are fucking huge.
The fucking wind, the cold in the winter.
I drove we drove to Montreal last year, so we had to drive through Manitoba. Yeah, it was interesting. We just drove right through. We stopped for gas in the middle and just kept fucking going. There's nothing to stop and see between Calgary and Toronto, or Calgary and Ontario, probably Thunder Bay. There is fucking nothing. There, like, nothing. It's just fucking go time. 27 hours to get from Calgary to Thunder Bay straight, and we didn't stop.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so I got one. Do you like Norm Macdonald?
He's kind of funny. He's one of the only Canadian
guys that
comedians that has made. Did he just pass away?
Yeah.
When he did the Crocodile Hunter skit, look that one up on YouTube.
That's awesome. So this joke
I'm calling people are making fun of me behind camera.
So this joke is a Norm Macdonald joke, and I'll kind of do it like Normie would. All right. They call Alberta the Texas of Canada. Why would beautiful Alberta want to be associated with Texas? Alberta has everything that Texas does not. Beautiful mountains, lush grasslands. Indeed, it is a true bounty. Wait, I remember why. Because of the toothless hillbillies and oil. Oil.
I don't know. I think England has more toothless. Our dentistry skills are not.
Here we go. If I had a big nickel for every time I saw a nutsack at one of your shows, Steve, I'd be a fucking millionaire.
Did you see that? You saw nutsacks in my show?
Oh yeah, the first one I went to, there was this dude with this yellow banana hammock who was.
I guess, endowed because
There's
his dick was
always one of
fucking
those
hanging
that that is.
and he was right at the front door. It's like right when you walked in, this dude was getting tattooed all 3 days, and it was just nut sacks hanging out.
There's always one of those at every show. That is not an Alberta thing. That is like there's always one where you go around the corner to the next line in the next booth row, and you're like, fuck. Not what you want to see. I mean, in England, they always have. If you're judging contests, you have to. I was taken by surprise. There's a guy that has his what's an English word? Tallywhacker? Is that an English word? He had his tattooed, and of course, he enters the contest to throw off the judges, and I didn't see it. I'm not going to use that word. I didn't expect that to happen.
He used his penis up on stage, and everyone got a little bit queasy. Hey, it's
I asked him if it was small color, so I got back.
Nice. All right, so now we're into the fact segment because the jokes seem to be falling a little flat, which is fine.
I don't know, like maybe I'm snobby. It's because I was brought up British humor. It has to be
very dry.
I am a snob in that I'm guilty of that. I am.
We can do this one.
Brought up on Fawlty Towers and Billy Connolly. It's like,
why don't you take this one, Steve? The highlighted one. Why don't you read this one out for me? I think this is great.
Did you know that Cold Lake is shared with Saskatchewan? Not only that, but the town of Lloydminster is also shared with Saskatchewan. That is the first and only time someone has talked about Saskatchewan. I spent my first 3 months tattooing in Saskatchewan.
No shit.
And I couldn't wait to get the fuck out. No offense to people that live in Saskatchewan, but
we love Saskatchewan. They're awesome. It's not Americans. It's not Saskatchewan. It's Saskatchewan, right?
Do you know that their beer sales, like when you go to the liquor store, their booze goes up in price after 6 p.m.?
No, I did not know that.
It's the only place I've ever seen that.
Fucking
like
day
I
drinkers.
can't remember the prices back then. It was like if you're buying a case of beer before 6 p.m. was $15. After it was like $22.
That's a smart model. You got to get drunk by noon. That way you can get to sleep by 8.
I think that's why everyone's drunk by noon.
There's the next one. Did you know that Alberta is nearly the same size as Afghanistan, Steve? Well, shit. We shouldn't have said that on air. Americans are probably getting ready to invade there as well and fuck up the province when it pulls out.
That's it. Yeah, what a mess down there. Yeah. Well, you're there. Sorry. I apologize. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few years.
Yeah, we don't know.
I won't get into politics at all.
No.
I won't slam certain people.
No, it's fine.
I said, they all suck.
They all suck. That's it. I'm an anti-social democratic person. I just care about what happens in my town. Everyone else can get fucked.
I really think they should have IQ tests for fucking politicians, though, because we've got the biggest idiots making rules right now, and it's just like, how can you be so stupid? like, I swear, there's quite a few people in there right now that are under 100, like guaranteed. I mean, you've had some presidents under 100 too, right?
Oh yeah, we did the list the other day. We just kind of went back, right? So we've got Methuselah. We had a fucking reality TV star. We had a guy who was pretty smart before that. And we had, a billionaire's kid I love GW now because he's just like, hey, it's just great. We had a pedophile before that. Like, it's just, you look back at the people who've been running this place and you kind of wonder how we get here. You don't have to think too hard about it.
No, not at all.
We've had 2 in 100 years that were common sense people. And then Jimmy, which, I mean, hopefully he's still alive with us in hospice. We love you, Jimmy. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's, was he your last? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I won't talk.
Yeah.
I won't share my views.
All right, Steve. Why don't you take the last one here, and then we can say goodbye to each other.
Where'd you come up with this? Did you know that the phrase "trick or treat" was first coined in Blackie, Alberta, Canada?
Yes, that's a true fact, everyone. True fact.
I did not know. It was also things also invented in Alberta are beer-proof garbage can. Oh, bear-proof. Bear-proof garbage cans. Well, that makes sense. The ginger beef dish, I knew that. That's which is weird. Have you ever been to China? Because Chinese food is not Chinese food.
No.
When you go to China, it's like
legit,
so different. Like very, very little meat. But it's fucking good.
Yep.
It's different.
Uh,
My favorite hangover cure, the Caesar, that was created at Caesar's Steakhouse. The Westin Hotel tried to take that title, but it was someone that worked at the Westin, but also worked at Caesar's Steakhouse. So I knew that one. Porta potties, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Oh, I mean, I went to a house in England recently. They still had their toilet outside.
Yeah. External loos.
You have to go outside and in, and
Yeah.
I took a picture because it just brought.
That's
back
like that in
memories.
Australia as
And-
well, which is
Really?
wild. Yeah.
Like, yeah. But porta potties, like portable ones that you can
Mhm.
take
Yeah.
different places. I didn't know that. Touchscreen TVs, didn't know that. The mop squeezer.
Yeah.
Canada's responsible for many inventions. 56 modem. What's that?
Yeah,
First
they
56
built the first
modem.
56K baud modem.
Really?
Telephony, yes. It was invented.
AM radio, which is why it's so shit because we have Canadian music on there.
Yeah.
The semi-automatic pistol.
But you know what
Oh,
they
that's
didn't invent? You know what they didn't invent, Steve? The semi-automatic pistol. Thanks
That's
again,
German.
Germany.
Yeah, well,
Mr.
now you
Mauser.
have all. I mean, it's weird. I was talking on a chat room on Facebook. As a 55-year-old male, I've never held or shot a gun.
Nice.
Tattoo artists were like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? And you're like, never had one, never shot it, never touched one. And they're like, I don't get it. We take one to work every fucking day, which blows my fucking mind.
Well,
And that
You're
like,
British.
we don't need
You're British.
we
British
don't need
people
them
don't
here.
need it.
Even in Canada, though, you don't need them.
No.
I mean, they just banned handguns in Canada. I think you can't even buy them to go to the shooting range anymore.
That's nice.
I think if
actually.
you have one already, you can keep it, but
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't affect. I mean, it only affects criminals, really. I think
Yeah.
we don't need them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't need them. I
Who
think
goes
that's
deer hunting with a fucking 9mm handgun?
that's it, right? Like it's just. I'm so glad we don't have that problem here. It's
Yeah.
definitely an issue that needs. I don't know how the hell you guys going to fix it. But
Because you guys in England, you know, your birthplace, they have soccer hooligans. They got football hooligans and rugby hooligans, and that's enough.
yeah, so you wake up the next day, you got a broken nose and a fucking black not dead. You know what I mean? Like big fucking
Dude,
deal.
they had those guys who were running around stabbing over by like Tower Bridge, I guess. Then they ran in and then they
Yeah,
started stabbing
you
people.
can only kill one person, maybe two.
Yeah, so then they
Ah.
ran into a Chelsea football fan.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
Chelsea rules, and he took down
Yeah,
3
yeah.
people. Nuts got stabbed like 13 times, and just like fucking took him out, saved the day.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, they had an unfortunate incident here. I think someone killed multiple people stabbing them, but I mean, very rare,
Yeah.
very and yeah. As soon as you start shooting kids, and that's okay. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. We won't make any light on that. I want to tell a joke. I could.
No, fuck no. That's a lot, man.
Steve, your face was great at that. It's like, oh.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for today, dude. Is there anything you want to throw out? Give a shout out to, pull, pitch, anything?
Yeah, our tattoo artist Kennedy, she's amazing.
No.
She's like the best ever. we bug Kennedy all the time, and she's sitting here on the other side. And now she got her
shit.
like
All right, everyone.
Yeah.
We'll fucking check out Kennedy online, eh? Fucking leave her a positive note review. And
what
this
it,
is
Kennedy
gonna stay
Night-
up.
Ken Night Art. Yeah, there you go.
Ken Night Art. Okay, this is gonna be up for 30 years. So don't change your Instagram handle.
No, she won't. We harass her all the time. My assistant is also on the other side of the screen right now
What?
going, I'm like, no, you're not getting it. No, if you ask for it, no fucking getting it. I just got the finger.
That's fucking hilarious. Well, yeah. Thank you very much. I'm gonna do a cold open and
No
stuff
problem.
and put it on the back. But yeah, we're gonna end the show.
This is our generic outro track. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Remember, please go give us a like, subscribe, review on any of the podcast players or platforms that you enjoy listening to us on. And thanks. Thanks for listening to the show. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk to you again next week.